In the quiet corners of the world, where the mundane meets the extraordinary, there exists a tapestry of secrets, waiting to be unraveled. But don't let the word secrets fool you. These aren't your run-of-the-mill, I hid the cookies in the vegetable drawer kind of secrets. No, these are the kind of facts that make you go, wait, what? And then immediately text your group chat because you simply cannot keep this information to yourself. And trust me, by the time we're done, you'll be the most interesting person at any party, or at least the most annoying. Let's start in the ocean, because why not? The Greenland shark, a creature so chill it makes sloths look like they're on a caffeine binge, can live for over 400 years. That's right, this shark was around before Shakespeare wrote Hamlet, and it's still kicking, or swimming rather. But here's the kicker, its eyes are often infested with parasitic crustaceans that latch onto its corneas, rendering it nearly blind. And yet it still manages to be an apex predator. Talk about overcoming adversity. Meanwhile, in the Amazon rainforest, the bullet ant is out here making everyone regret their life choices. Its sting is so painful it's been compared to being shot, and indigenous tribes use it in initiation rituals. But hey, at least it's not as bad as the time I stubbed my toe on the coffee table. Or is it? I don't know, I've never been stung by a bullet ant, and frankly, I'm okay with that. Speaking of pain, let's talk about the kapok tree, which is basically the Amazon's version of a high-rise apartment building. It's so tall and sturdy that it hosts entire ecosystems in its branches, from orchids to frogs to birds. But did you know its fluffy seed fibers were once used to stuff life jackets? That's right, this tree has saved lives, and yet it doesn't even have a LinkedIn profile. Meanwhile, in the skies above, the wandering albatross is living its best life, gliding for hours without flapping its wings. And get this, it can sleep while flying. That's right, this bird is basically the ultimate multitasker. Take notes, humans. But let's not forget about dolphins, the ocean's resident geniuses. Each dolphin has a unique whistle that serves as its name, and they use these whistles to chat with their pals. And if that's not cool enough, they also like to play with seaweed and surf waves. Basically, dolphins are the cool kids of the sea, and I, for one, am jealous. On land, the African elephant is out here flexing with its massive ears, which double as radiators to keep it cool. But that's not all. Elephants can recognize themselves in mirrors, which is more than I can say for some people I know. And don't even get me started on their emotional depth. These guys mourn their dead and form lifelong bonds, which is more commitment than I've ever shown to a gym membership. Now, let's talk about the thorny devil lizard, which sounds like a rejected Pokemon, but is actually a master of survival. Its skin channels dew directly to its mouth, allowing it to drink in the desert. But wait, there's more. In Siberia, scientists have found ancient viruses and bacteria frozen in the permafrost, some of which have been revived in labs. And while that sounds like the plot of a bad sci-fi movie, it's actually real life. So, maybe don't thaw your freezer just yet. Humans, of course, are no less fascinating. Did you know your stomach gets a new lining every few days to prevent it from digesting itself? That's right, your body is basically a never-ending home renovation project. And your nose? It can distinguish over 1 trillion different scents, which is impressive until you realize that includes the smell of burnt popcorn and your neighbor's questionable cooking. But hey, at least we're not shedding 600,000 skin particles every hour. Oh wait, we are. Gross. History is full of surprises too. Cleopatra lived closer to the invention of the iPhone than to the construction of the Great Pyramid of Giza, which really puts things into perspective. And the Eiffel Tower, it grows taller in the summer because metal expands when heated. So technically, the Eiffel Tower is a seasonal giant. Meanwhile, the Leaning Tower of Pisa was never supposed to lean, but here we are 800 years later, and it's still defying gravity like a rebellious teenager. In the cosmos, things get even weirder. Saturn's moon Titan has lakes and rivers, but they're filled with liquid methane instead of water. And Venus? Its day is longer than its year, which is the astronomical equivalent of working overtime every single day. Neutron stars, on the other hand, are so dense that a sugar cube-sized amount of their material would weigh 1 billion tons on Earth. But don't worry, you're not likely to stumble across one anytime soon. Back on Earth, wombats are out here producing cube-shaped poop, because why not? And sloths can hold their breath longer than dolphins, which is impressive, until you remember that sloths move so slowly they probably forget they're underwater. Meanwhile, the mantis shrimp is punching its way through life with the force of a bullet, creating cavitation bubbles that produce light and heat. Basically, it's the Bruce Lee of the ocean. Humans, of course, have their own quirks. The average person spends 6 months of their life waiting for red lights to turn green, which is 6 months too many if you ask me. And Charles Osborne hiccuped for 68 years, which is both impressive and deeply concerning. Sneezes can travel at 100 miles per hour, which explains why they're so hard to stifle, and coughs can reach 50 miles per hour, which is faster than I can run, so there's that. In the world of art and culture, the Mona Lisa has no eyebrows, which is either a fashion statement or a really bad waxing job. Beethoven composed some of his greatest works while completely deaf, which is the musical equivalent of painting a masterpiece blindfolded. And Shakespeare introduced over 1,700 words to the English language, including bedroom, gossip and lonely, which just goes to show that even the bard had his moments of pettiness. As we wrap up this whirlwind tour of random facts, let's take a moment to appreciate the sheer absurdity of it all. From cube-shaped poop to shrimp that punch harder than your ex's passive-aggressive texts, the universe is a strange and wonderful place. And while you might be tempted to fall asleep after reading all 500 facts, just remember, knowledge is power, and power is the ability to dominate trivia night. So go forth, armed with these facts, and may your conversations be as weird and wonderful as the world itself. There you go, a quirky, pun-filled and humor-laden narrative packed with 500 random facts. Enjoy and try not to fall asleep.